That's why I'm dressed like this, because the 90s are back. This is how I dress every day. Save the turtles.
Welcome to Water and Shade, a weekly Wheel of Time talk show with your Shide hosts. I'm Zoe, and tonight, we'll crucify the Forsaken tonight.
I'm Sam, and I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide, but I cry when I see a nice day.
We welcome you under our roof. It's a hot mess in here, partially because it's the waste and also because we're not very domesticated. But Water and Shade will be found for you.
If you enjoy this informational program, please remember to hit subscribe below, catch up on all our nonsense on our YouTube channel. You can also find us on your preferred social media conduit, including our brand new Discord server. And if you can't get enough of our nonsense and want access to bonus content, or to have your ideas featured on one of our shows, consider tipping your Shide hose at our Patreon.
So, speaking of having your suggestions featured on our episodes, we'd like to shout out Blake G on YouTube, who asked us to continue with our 90s fan casting, but to make it about the Forsaken. So, we obliged, and today we're bringing you some major fan casting announcements.
That's wonderful.
Only this
Cool.
one is a little bit different. Sam, do you want to explain the new rules of this episode?
Okay, so our first rule is that they have to have been active in the 90s, like super active, not just like underground obscure stuff like how I'm dressed. The second rule is that they have to have played an iconic villain or a semi-iconic villain at least once during their career.
Whoa. That's actually like really quite challenging to think of as well. Like there are so many people I could think of to play certain roles, but then I'm like, but you didn't play a villain.
Have they played a villain? They don't have to have played the villain during the 90s, but they have to have done it at some point.
They have to have played a villain that people know. People know
Yes.
this villain. Yes. This is gonna be fun.
Yes, it sure will. So, per your suggestion, when you said do the Forsaken, honey, we're gonna do the Forsaken.
We got you. Let's start with a nice, easy one with Asmodean. I feel like he's a nice... There's always like been a bit of a headcanon.
I think we might pick the same one for this one.
I think we might, because I know we've had this discussion before, and I don't care. This guy has just been like in my head for ever as Asmodean, and I stand by it. Okay.
Oh, yes! We both pick Alan Rickman, who was, you know, pretty iconic. Yeah, I think he'd be good as Asmodean. Honestly, he could play all the Forsaken, just put on different wigs and like makeup. He could do it. He could do the whole
I'd be
thing.
okay with that as well. Like I wouldn't...
But he's dead now.
Yeah, I know. I think that was one of like my saddest things. Like when Alan Rickman passed away, I was like, no, he'll never be Asmodean. And I needed that.
He had some range. Didn't like him in Sense and Sensibility though. He needs to be at least like a tortured hero, at least, if not a villain.
Okay, so we're gonna have a go at Agenor. I really hope Agenor gets more screen time because I just feel like he's such an underappreciated Forsaken. And I just love him.
Yeah, he's got a good backstory. I like him. All right, okay. I got mine.
I got mine
Agenor.
too.
I don't know his name, but I said the T-1000 from Terminator.
Oh, he would be good though. I went with Charles Dance, who most people know as the dad Lannister. Can't remember his name.
Oh, Tywin Lannister. He'd be good. I mean, like, it'd have to be him now though, because back in the 90s he was like like Last Action Hero era. Like
Wait,
he
was the villain in that with the glass. I know it was like a kid's film.
Yeah.
He had like the glass eye, and he was super creepy villain. I think
that's creepy.
I think he could do it in the 90s, or he could do it now. I'd be okay either way. I feel like this is one that can stand the test of time.
I think he'd be good now. He has that, like, he's grizzled. It's good.
You know, the thing with this one is, like, you know, he doesn't have, like, a major role, but sort of, like, comes back later. So I think my casting choice just kind of has to be on the basis that whoever ends up playing Halima will have to play Halima like this actor would play Halima. And therefore I think it would just be really, really hilarious if it was Christopher Walken.
I can imagine like some really hot bitch having to do Christopher Walken.
That would just be
my god, that's great.
Just for that.
I love that.
What did you get?
I feel like you win. I had Terry Togawa, who's in Mortal Kombat, but he was also like I thought he was like the villain in Nash Bridges, but apparently he's not. Apparently he was like a good guy in The Boss, but he has like a villainous face. I feel like he'd be good. You know who's an honorable mention, I think, for this one? Would be Hugo Weaving.
Oh, Agent Smith.
He'd be a good one.
Yes.
That people actually know.
Yeah.
Instead of like
people go, oh, yeah, I know who that guy is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Bilal.
Bilal. He needs to be creepy dude.
I want a guy who can like really act his like ass off. I said that in a very American way. Ass off.
Yeah.
And is like really super duper creepy.
I think we might have the same one on this one again.
Okay.
Dr. Lecter. Oh yes.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yes.
Official name.
Yeah. Official.
Yeah.
I don't know these people's names. I was a toddler.
She lies.
Not true. We're the same age. Oh! How about Samael? Oh, you Aryan fuck. I got a good one. Oh!
I really don't like Samuel, but so I kind of just want someone who doesn't really say much, who just kind of looks a certain way and just projects
do we have the
that.
Same one again?
I think we might.
I think we probably do.
I forgot how to
Ivan
spell
Drago. Yes, Dolph Lundgren. It's the same guy. It's the villain from Rocky IV.
Rocky IV.
Who is the quintessential just...
And
I don't know.
I know Rocky IV
Aryan.
is obviously like an 80s movie and everything, but he was still very active in the 90s. So
he
it
was,
counts.
and he always plays the villain. They're always blonde and they're always beefy. I mean, look at Karate Kid.
He's
I argue that Daniel San was the bad guy.
I completely agree, and having watched Cobra Kai, I am like even more convinced that he is the problem. Like,
yeah,
just saying.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a shithead.
No problem with that. Cool.
Should we talk about Sexy Demandred? Because I really want to talk about Sexy Demandred.
Hot dudes in the 90s who were baddies and who could play the hottest damaged bad boy of them all. Let's see. Again, I don't know the name of this person. I just know who he plays.
I'm just gonna write who he plays as well, because I'm not quite sure if I'm spelling the name right. But okay, all right, I'm ready.
Candyman.
Candyman.
Candyman. Oh,
stop it! He's gonna come out the mirror. I went with the guy who was the mummy.
It's Zoom. It doesn't count if you say Candyman into Zoom. Then he just comes out and tells you if you have a meeting.
I went with
Not Dad from the meeting. Oh, the guy from the Mummy. Oh, god!
And fun fact, he also, if anyone watched Charmed, which I kind of did like religiously, I loved Charmed. He was Xandu, who he was like the big bad in like one of the later seasons, who actually defeated the sisters. And I'm just like, yeah, that just kind of makes you even hotter.
He's so hot. Oh my god. Okay, no, I said Candyman. Candyman.
Stop it!
I'm not gonna say it again.
I have a mirror in my room.
The person is really hot, and I don't know, I feel like it's like a common headcanon that Demon Dread is like, looks like he's maybe like Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
He's got like that coloring and that, yeah.
Yeah. We should like talk about some chicks here, because I feel like it's been like a little bit of a sausage fest so far.
I feel like we've talked about this one too, so I feel like we might have the same one on this one.
I feel like Moggy is this might be one of those ones that people go, huh? But for me, my headcanon has always been that Moghedian is like East Asian.
Yeah.
I've always seen her that way, and I know a lot of people don't, and there's never any
Me too.
You know,
like this straight dark hair, and just like I think of her as kind of like slight figured, and I feel like that gives her an Asian look.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. And the only 90s girl that I can think of is Lucy Liu. Hey, Charlie's Angels, bitch. Original Charlie.
I see that, and you know, she played I can't remember what her name was in Kill Bill, but she was such a good baddie.
Yeah.
In that.
Yeah, that's why I think that she'd be a good Moghedian. I have another one. I have a good one for her.
I feel like this one is really, really tough to decide on, because
she's described even less than. I feel like Moghedian is like, you get a good idea of what she might look like because of the way, like, her personality and her like spidery, shadowy. Masana is very nondescript, so you could cast anybody.
I mean, she might even be played by multiple people, just because it's like she might be under Mirror of Mist so many times.
Mine is Selma Blair.
Ooh.
I feel like she'd be a good one.
I think actually that's probably better than mine. I went with Sigourney Weaver just because I kind of want to have her in there somewhere. I love Sigourney
Just
Weaver.
plug her in.
And
I mean, she can wear the mirror of Mask of Mirrors, and there she is. She goes from Selma Blair to Sigourney Weaver.
I just feel like Sigourney Weaver needs to be like an Aes Sedai, but I really, especially...
She can be Cat Swain.
She always kind of played that like really badass heroine in the 90s. And then more recently, she kind of started doing a few more like villainous roles, which I quite liked. And I would have really loved to have seen her do more villainous stuff in the 90s. So I think that would have been quite cool for her.
Oh, Grendel. Oh, I know the best.
There's so many options. Like the 90s was abundant with like busty blonde women that just oozed sex.
But
what a great time
why she gotta be blonde? That's why I picked Xena, because she was a villain in her later career.
Too.
Oh, bitch! Yes! Because she was in Spartacus and she was awful. Like, I mean, she was great, but she was a villain in Spartacus. So
as Lucretia in Spartacus, she was incredible, and I remember watching that and thinking, "Oh, bitch, you would be a good Grendel." Like, oh,
yes, yes,
yes, yes. Oh,
Xena.
You know, the other one I really considered, and I think should kind of be like an honorable mention, is like Rebecca Romijn. I don't even know if I'm saying her surname right, but you know, she was the original Mystique in X-Men.
Yeah.
And she's hot.
Yeah. She'd be good.
Yeah,
she'd be real good.
Yeah, she would. Oh, Samaraj. This is a tough one. You could do the whole like, who would do it really well, or who would just get the role because of their name. I think I'm going to go with who would just get the role because of their name.
Just because I knew that she was, you know, in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. I went with Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Yeah, because she would get cast because it's the 90s. And also, I mean, she was kind of a villain with Catwoman. Well, maybe Catwoman wasn't entirely villainous, but that movie was really, really villainous. And, yeah.
I don't walk out of movies often, but I walked out of that one.
So.
Oh, you know who else would be great? Grace Jones. Let's do Robin.
We need to
not
go
really
for
alphabetical.
We need to go for like a hot guy who is like
hot dad with the little gray temples from the 90s. Bitch, I know
who I mean, this is, even now if you turned around to me and said this guy is going to play Robin, I'd be like, yes, obviously, because that makes sense. It's perfect.
Okay.
Who are you going for?
Okay. Oh, his voice though, if he talked to me, I mean, if Jeff Goldblum talked to me, I would just listen to him. So he's already got me under compulsion. And I'm just like, yes, Jeff Goldblum.
Everything he's in, I am mesmerized. I am just like,
absolutely.
Yes. Anything you have to say.
And he doesn't even have to do anything. He's just there. This was my first daddy crush in the 90s, was Aladdin's dad from Aladdin and the King of Thieves. I don't care that he's a cartoon, okay?
Yeah,
he would be great. Tell me that he does not look exactly like Robin.
Yeah, he is like exactly Robin.
Right?
But I'm still gonna fight you on Jeff Goldblum because
Jeff Goldblum would be great if you need like an actual human, I guess. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, this is what you guys are here for, which is why we saved it for the end.
Yeah,
now you have to watch the whole damn video to get to the two that you care about. Let's talk about Lanfear. Let's cast Lanfear from the 90s. I think I know who I would pick from the 90s. The most beautiful 90s woman that I can think of. Alright, go ahead. Who'd you pick for Lanfear?
I went with
Dark Phoenix. Oh, Jean Grey.
I don't even know how to say her name. Famke
Janssen. I don't know,
but she was.
I can see that.
Yeah, she was a Bond. She was like a Bond assassin or something in like GoldenEye. And she played like a bad girl, and she was really awesome at that. Like really good. Yeah, and she was so stunning in like the mid-90s as well. Like she would be perfect. And
she was great as Jean Grey too. That was, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the X-Men movies, but she was good. Plus James Marsden, who we all know is God.
We had to cast Cyclops in the original 90s fan cast, and now we have to cast Phoenix as well in the follow-up. So, you know, fair's fair.
There you go. And then Kelsey Grammer can be loyal because he was Beast.
Jesus Christ. Just cast the X. Just cast all of the X.
Kelsey Grammer would be in this. He'd be great. I pick Liz Hurley.
Yes.
She's gorgeous. Although now that I'm thinking of it, I think Dark Phoenix would have been great for that.
Liz Hurley would have done very well as Lanfear as well.
She's so beautiful.
And she was
so gorgeous.
And she was the literal devil in Bedazzled as well. So, you know, she can definitely play that like crazy chick. And fun fact about Liz Hurley, me and Liz Hurley were born in the same town. That's my
good for you. That's your claim to fame. Because it sure as shit ain't this show. The reason you're all here is the one that everybody feels like they need to cast first, so we saved it for last, so you had to watch the whole damn video, bitches. So, let's talk about our sweet, sweet baby, Ishii. Who you gonna pick for Ishii, my little fishy?
Well, you know, I picked Ishii, original 90s fan cast that we did, and I really think I'm going to stick with it because I just think Tim Curry is just absolute perfection for Ishamel, and
he'd be great.
He's just really great, and he's awesome.
I picked Billy Zane because why would you mess with perfection? They already did it right the first time.
And do you know what's funny?
He was magnificent.
What's funny about the fact that you get to pick Billy Zane again and it actually works within the rules is that he did play a villain in Titanic.
I know!
In the 90s.
I told you it was meant to be. Why would you fuck with something that was so magnificent to begin with? He was the best.
He's Taviran.
He healed me. He put his hands on my head and said, and I was. It's like Jesus, except real.
Just as, just for an honorable shout out, another person I did consider for Ishamel was Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is the new Candyman. If you say Nicolas Cage 3 times in a mirror, he'll come out. My sister went to camp, and so while she was gone, we all we took just pictures of Nicolas Cage and caged her room, like put them everywhere, and then we continued to put them everywhere for like several months. And the video, I have a video of it, but she comes into her room, like we put a hidden camera in her room, and she comes in, she throws her sunglasses on the bed, and she looks around, she goes, oh no, oh no. It was the sweetest thing I've ever seen. Found him in her underwear drawer. Oh, it was like a TikTok before the ages of TikTok. Maybe I'll just put it on the TikTok. Sorry, Annie. You get to be on TikTok now, don't you know?
I think I'd be okay with that. Like, I just find myself really oddly attracted to Nicolas Cage a lot of the time.
That's like saying you're sexually attracted to like a broom handle, which some people are, so
don't judge me. That's it for this week's episode. If you're wondering where the Forsaken Reborn are, head on over to our Patreon now and become a patron, and you can watch bonus footage where we cast the rest of the Forsaken.
Until next time, may you always find water and shade. There's a German word for cock slap. It's going. Going is the German word for cock slap. Ah. Are you broken? I don't know what you think is funny about that. It's just German. I'm trying to teach you words.
Okay.
We'll ask our German friends.
Thank you.
Okay.